In the last video, we covered the word ensemble.
Ensemble is the French word for together, by the way. So if you want to look like you have it together, view the articles of clothing you wear as team members. An old money gal knows that this team, coordinated from head to toe, will work together to project a single image. One that makes good presentation and one that is appropriate for the occasion.
So in today's video, I thought we could look at some of the ensembles that we can put together or some of the appropriate wear we can wear for certain life circumstances and situations and events. So let's first look at what one could wear for a job interview. First things first, you're going to want to ask yourself some questions, and that's going to allow you to assess how you're wanting to show up, where you're wanting to show up, etc. So what is the objective or what is the goal of when you are going to a job interview? Are you going to network? Are you going to try and get a job? I think most of us, when we go to a job interview, we are going to try and get a job. But for some of us, I hear many a times, people go on job interviews to see what else is out there and to see what the industry and the market is saying. And then that allows them to position themselves better in the job or the role that they're in. I have heard that twice this week, and some people might think, wow, that's a lot of effort for someone who's not really wanting to get a job, but sometimes you don't know what's out there until you start looking. The next thing that you're going to want to ask yourself is, what is your look saying? Do you get a certain vibe from the outfit that you've put together? If someone saw you coming, what would they say about you? The next thing is you're going to want to look at what colors are appropriate for an interview. Now, this is going to be a little bit of personal preference, but if you do a quick Google search about color theory and how emotions can be swayed a little bit one way or the other based on the colors that you're wearing, you'll see that there is a lot of psychology that goes behind the colors that we wear or the colors that we brand ourselves with. For example, you may see that certain businesses will often have certain colors. So a lot of restaurants will use red and orange. A lot of churches as well also use red and orange, and there's specific reasons for that. A lot of wellness brands will use blue and green. And so if that is what will translate when it is a business, you are your own brand. And so you're pitching yourself as somebody that someone might want to bring into their business. So you have to think about the color psychology there as well. Last but not least, understand and appreciate the industry that you are applying in. If you're applying on a job as a fashion consultant, you can probably be a little bit more liberal about the items that you are wearing, right? Whereas if you are going to apply at a tech company, that might sway things a little bit, although I do hear that they are a little bit liberal there as well. But also understanding how you show up in the interview may not necessarily be how you show up for work every day. Some places have a more business casual vibe in their day-to-day, but for the interview, you're wanting to make sure that you're putting the best foot forward and dressing the most appropriate for the event that you're attending. That is the old money way, to dress appropriately for the event or the situation that you're attending.
The professional job interview, in which the goal is to get hired and progress in your career. If you show up for an interview at a major corporation in jeans and too tight sweater, it probably doesn't matter what credentials you have. The human resources executive is going to feel like you don't place any value on the meeting or that you don't have a clue. Either way, they won't take the time to consider you seriously. They won't consider you at all. Remember that although corporate dress codes have been relaxed on casual Fridays at some companies, dress codes for interviews remain formal. Professional standards still apply. In the same way, appropriate interview attire for a company may differ from the day-to-day attire worn by employees in the office of that company. Just because employees dress in business casual attire when they arrive at work doesn't mean that you show up in business casual for a job interview. This scenario is the domain of the navy, black, or gray business suit with a skirt. Some women will wear suits with pants, know your industry and the company you're interviewing with before ditching the skirt and wearing the pants. A white blouse and a black or navy closed toe heels or pumps complete the look.
So next, let's look at a casual social event. This can obviously vary, but let's look at a few questions that we should ask ourselves. What is the goal? Sometimes I go to social events and my pure goal is to network as opposed to a friendly social event. And how I show up when I am purely focused on going on networking is very different to how I would show up if I was just going to hang out in an intimate situation with my social circle. Both I'm going to put my best foot forward, but one will probably be slightly more formal than the other. Remember, we need to wear what is appropriate for the occasion. So if it's a social event where there is going to be business potentially discussed, keep that in mind. Now you also want to ask yourself, am I overdressed for this occasion? If it is a social event, or am I underdressed for it? We don't want to go so underdressed like as if it was a social event with our best friends. We do want to be mindful that we're not overdressed or underdressed.
A casual social event in which the goal is to catch up with friends and meet new people, building relationships and having fun. If you show up at an afternoon neighborhood pool party in a short black dress, blown out hair, industrial strength mascara, and stilettos, you may garner some initial attention from the male attendees, but probably not the kind that you want. You haven't dressed appropriately for the occasion. Other guests will probably think you're one brick shy of a load or that you've taken on a new profession, at least part-time. As with all clothing and grooming choices, know the event, know the host, know the crowd.
Now let's talk about the casual lunch out. This is often a more relaxed vibe, but again, ask yourself, what is the goal of this lunch out? Are you attending this lunch out with people that you have a business relationship with? Or is this a lunch out with your partner? This is going to dictate and differentiate between how you show up for this event. Again, you're going to want to put your best foot forward, but there will be some differences. The next question you might want to ask yourself when you're going to this particular event is, where are you going? If you're going to a pub, that is going to be very different to if you are going to the It's New restaurant. I have been out with people recently where we have really kept it casual. It was a business meeting, but we kept it very casual and we had a glass of rosé and had a glass of cider as we talked business. And I've also been to business events recently where we've gone somewhere a little bit more leveled up and my clothing had to reflect that. Now, in these particular situations, one of the things that I'm noticing for myself, if I'm leaning more to the casual side, say, going to the pub, like I just gave an example of, having layers that I can put over my shoulders and dress the look up is definitely handy to have on hand. And it allows me to quickly make it a little bit more formal, a little bit more appropriate for where we are if the need arises. So one of the things for me personally living here in England, I always have an umbrella on hand and I've made sure that I have a nice umbrella. I picked up a Ralph Lauren one last year at the outlet and I think that I need to start carrying some type of shawl with me all the time, just like I carry an umbrella with me all the time, because I'm finding that due to where I live, it is very appropriate for me to have on hand. Now, the next thing that you're going to want to quickly think of when you are going to the casual lunch out is your footwear. Footwear, I feel like, is the trickiest part because you don't want to have something that is too high of a heel and too formal, but equally you're not wanting to have your Birkenstocks, your flip-flops, or a pair of runners. I know trainers and runners are very UK style, and so a lot of people adopt that, but really your outfit can look so much chicer and really give you a more appropriate look if you have a proper leveled up pair of footwear.
The casual lunch out is the time and place for a cotton or linen blouse, a men's tuxedo shirt, cotton or linen pants or khakis, and casual shoes. Bring a sweater or a shawl in case the restaurant is really proud of their air conditioning. Casual shoes are not athletic shoes. Flats or elegant, simple pumps are better than sandals and much preferred to ghastly flip-flops or clunky Birkenstocks. Please say no to Uggs. Jeans are acceptable if they're not torn and don't reveal too much. Wear a heel to dress them up. Showing skin between your blouse and your pants should be reserved for the lake, the beach, or poolside at a resort.
The last event that we're going to talk about today is the backyard barbecue. What are you going to wear? Now, I think you have to first ask yourself, where is this backyard barbecue? Because I think often, again, depending on where you are in the world, the backyard barbecue might not actually be in your backyard. I've noticed here in the UK, it's a lot more common to see barbecues out in common spaces because people do barbecues. I mean, I wouldn't even call it a barbecue, but it's like one of those ones you buy from the grocery store and it's like a single-use barbecue. For me, that's not really a backyard barbecue. So for me, if I'm going out into public, it's not really an intimate backyard barbecue. I'm going to want to be a little bit more formal than if it was truly in a backyard. Now, be it that you might be going to a backyard barbecue, you're still not wanting to be so informal with your flip-flops and looking like you just come out of the sea. You're going to want to make sure that you have something that's appropriate, but again, is a little bit relaxed and not too overdressed for the occasion. So this is a time to relax a little bit if it is at a private residence, but you can totally play around with fabrics such as linen, denim shorts, etc. I would just say with the shorts, try to make it so they're not too short. Now, my biggest takeaway for this section is to ensure that you have the ensemble. I find if you're going more casual with your outfit, making sure that your hair, your makeup, your minimal accessories are there because then that helps bring the look up even though what you're wearing might be a little bit more casual.
The backyard barbecue at a residence in the daylight hours is perfect for simple cotton or linen summer top. With cotton or linen pants, long or short, jeans, and some casual sandals or flats. Again, no sneakers, flip-flops, or Birkenstocks. And again, a sweater if you need it when the sun goes down.
In the next video, we're going to be going over some more of the ensembles and the outfits that we can wear that are appropriate to each situation and how we can style them a little bit more in an old money way. I hope you will join me. Thanks for watching.